Good morning, everybody. Mrs. Stroud here.
And Mrs. Stark.
And we have kind of a difficult conversation to have with parents. We've been seeing a lot of things on Google Classroom that I think we need to address with parents. And we didn't want to just send out a message on Google Classroom because it's really easy when you read to kind of put some tone into a text that isn't there. And we didn't want this to sound like a negative message to you. So we wanted to put out a video so that you heard what we had to say in the proper tone so that the message came out really clear to you. So the first thing that we wanted to bring up was the student work that we're seeing on Google Classroom. We're noticing a lot of students are sending in their work blank. So they're hitting that turn in button, and then when we open their work, there is no work there. So we want you to keep an eye on that work that they're doing, and before they turn it in, make sure that they've put something on there so that we can see it and grade it and get a feel for what they do know and what they don't know. So we need to see that there's some work there, and we can make a better plan of how to move forward and see what they do know, what they don't know, what we still need to work on with them in the classroom.
And we have returned some of the assignments to the students that were completely blank with a little message to them. So if you could please check in Google Classroom, if you go under People and click your child's name, it will bring up any assignments that are missing, the assignments that are completed, and then if there's a check mark there, that lets you know that the work was returned to the students because it wasn't finished.
So then we need you to go back and redo the work or do the work and send it back to us.
And another thing that we've been seeing also on Google Classroom is the work that is being done sometimes is not evident of what we're seeing in the classroom as to what your child can do. Right now, they are in second grade. They are learning. We do not expect the work to be perfect. None of us are perfect, and especially with a 7-year-old, it's not going to be perfect. We are trying to move away from giving the children the answer and really working with coaching them to find the correct answer, especially when it comes to their writing and their reading. So when they're writing at home, one very important thing that we would like you to do is let them sound out the words. We've been seeing a lot in class during Writer's Workshop, children asking us to spell the words for them for their writing. And when we do that, the children are not learning to use their phonics skills. And phonics is a huge part of second grade. We are teaching them about all the different letter combinations and the sounds they make. So we really want them to practice that, and they do that when they read and when they write. So parents, if you could please remind the students, if they ask you to spell something for them, please remind them to use their phonics skills and to sound it out. The spelling's not going to be perfect. In second grade, we call it inventive spelling, but it also helps them to start using their phonics skills and deciding for themselves whether it looks right, whether it doesn't look right. Is there another letter combination I can use that makes that sound? And that helps us too with when we are building our instructional lessons in the classroom in our small groups, because then we can address those areas that we see the students struggling with a little.
So what we're asking you to do is please don't do the work for them. We expect to see incorrect answers. We expect to see lots of mistakes. We expect your children to be saying, this is really hard. And what we tell them in the classroom is, if it's hard, your brain is growing. If they say this is too hard, that's a really good sign. It means that they're learning. So if they're saying, I don't like this, this is really hard, it's too hard for me, that's a really good sign. It means they're learning a lot. Kids should not come to school and be perfect at everything. It means they're not learning very much, that it's too easy for them, that we should be challenging them more. Kids should never be coming home with hundreds every time. That would be that we're not challenging them too much. That's not a good sign at all in school. So if they're coming home and they're whining and they're pouting and they're saying, this is too hard, can you do it for me? You should be smiling and saying, honey, I was already in second grade. It's your work. I already was doing this when I was your age. We're not saying don't help them at all. We're just saying don't give them the answers. Definitely don't do the work for them. Guide them. Ask them other questions to kind of get the answer out of them. But definitely they need to be holding the pencil. They need to be doing the work. And you're just their tour guide through the work for them. We've had this situation before. And we took it as kind of funny, where there was a child in the classroom with us, and work was coming in on Classroom being submitted by the same child that was in our room. So it was kind of obvious that someone else was doing the work for them and sending it in. So please don't do that. It doesn't help the child if someone else does the work for them. The child isn't learning. And then we notice that when they're in school and the work is perfect coming in on Google Classroom, but then when the child is in the classroom and they can't do the work here at school, we know something's up. And that's definitely not in your child's best interest because they're not gaining any knowledge. So we want them to be the best that they can be. We're here for your child. We want them to be super smart. That's our job. That's what we're really good at doing here at school. And yeah, it's going to be really hard for them. And last year, being home for 6 months didn't help anybody. It made our jobs harder. It made it harder for them. We're here to help. We would love to fix that for them, but we can't do it if they're not doing the work. So if you want to ask us any questions, we're here to help you as well. If you're finding that they're struggling with something at home and it doesn't seem to be clearing up, we have office hours every Wednesday. We would love to help you with that. If you're not available on Wednesdays, just let us know. We can always Zoom call with you or Google Meets call with you or email or meet us on Class Dojo now because Remind isn't our thing anymore. It's a school-wide initiative. So just let us know. We're here to help you. And if you have any other concerns or anything else is upsetting you because your child is struggling, we would love to help you. We'd love to give you ideas to try at home. Anything else that they're struggling with, we're here for you.
And also to parents, regarding Class Dojo, we do have some parents who are not connected with us. So please check the stream on Google Classroom. There are directions there to help you get connected with us. We would love you all to be connected because that is the way we get out information to you. You can private message us if you need to. And also the whole district is on there. So each of the schools is on there and they are sending out important announcements as well. As you can tell, Mrs. Stroud is more of a talker than I am, but that is okay.
Italian.
It's the way it goes. So we already have talked to the children about doing their own work. We've already told them, moms and dads, grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, brothers and sisters, they've already been in second grade. They've done the work. Nobody's perfect. We definitely are not perfect. You could probably tell by some of the videos how sometimes we stumble a little bit over our words. It happens. We don't expect your children to, at 7 years old, be perfect as well. Those mistakes help us instruct them. And I always tell my students, and I know Mrs. Stroud tells hers as well, we learn from our mistakes. So mistakes are a good thing. Mm-hmm. We will instruct your children the best that we can, but we need to see those mistakes so that we can see what they're struggling with and we can curtail the lessons that we give them in small groups to be based on those things that they struggle with. So tonight is the holiday drive-through for Halloween from 6 to 8 here at Union East, sponsored by the PTSA.
Don't forget your canned good.
Don't forget your canned good. Each child that comes through from Union East gets a goodie bag. With not being able to celebrate in the classroom due to COVID, I think this is a great activity for our students and the and the Union East community. So please join us. Please look for me. I'll be the green crayon. I'll be standing with Mr. Blunt, who will be the banana. And we hope to see you tonight. If we don't speak to you, have a great weekend and go Bills.
Leave us some messages in the comments if you need to. We can surely answer some questions right there. If it's more of a sensitive nature, email, messages, send us class dojo messages, call us, voicemail. There's a million ways to get a hold of us. Sign up for Class Dojo if you're not on it. It's a great way to get a hold of us.
Thank you so much. We'll
Have a great
talk to you
night.
soon.